Hi, welcome to Marlene at Home. And I'm Marlene from the Carroll County Public Library, North Carroll Branch. And this episode is entitled Thanksgiving Traditions. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you've been enjoying your Thanksgiving weekend. And really when we think about Thanksgiving, the word that comes to my mind is gather. The English, the colonists, and the Native Americans gathered on that first Thanksgiving to celebrate a great first harvest, but also to celebrate they survived. There were about 50 colonists at that first Thanksgiving, 22 men, only 4 married women. 78% of the women died, the married women died in that first year. And then there were more than 25 teens and children, and then many more Native Americans than there were colonists. But Thanksgiving was about gathering and giving thanks. And it wasn't a great year for them to be celebrating. It was to be thankful for what you had, and it was to be praise and praising God that they made it through a rough year or a rough scenario. Has your year been rough? Has your scenario been different than other Thanksgiving holidays? Well, think of that first Thanksgiving, and the reason that they were gathering was again to be thankful and to praise God for their harvest and for their first celebration together and of surviving. Thanksgiving is my husband's Paul's favorite holiday. You know Christmas is mine, but he loves Thanksgiving and he has great family memories of the way his family celebrated Thanksgiving. But one of the things I thought about, we always celebrated Thanksgiving with my mom's family, but family gatherings and Thanksgivings are always changing. The locations, maybe for generations like me, you were at your grandparents' house, and then you moved to, we moved to my aunt's house, then we moved to my mom's house for some years. Then we moved to my Uncle Jimmy's some years, for a number of years. And then it moved to the next generation. I had it at our house for many years, and then it moved to my cousins in New Jersey. So locations often change with Thanksgiving. Attendees are always changing. There might be new babies, there might be loss of loved ones, there might be no family that's able to come, and so you invite neighbors or friends or join other people. I remember it was hard when you would transition from one Thanksgiving transition to a new one. I know I would love to have all of my family around my Thanksgiving table every year, but you know, as in your family, that may not always happen. When I look back at memories of Thanksgiving, I think of cousins, lots of cousins. Nearly 20 cousins would gather of all ages. And so it was wonderful just being with your aunts and uncles. My mom was one of 5 children, so then their spouses, then all their children. We made a large bunch. Some of the memories is that the children were at a separate table, usually with paper plates. Maybe you were in somebody's laundry room, or at another house you were in the basement. Upstairs with the adults you would be in Fostoria, my grandmother's dishes, and that now I have beautiful Fostoria, very breakable. Downstairs you would be the paper plate crew. One of my, it's not my least favorite memory, but not my favorite memory either. My cousin Barbie and I were among the oldest cousins in the area. It was our job to babysit the basement crew or the laundry room crew, wherever the children's table was that year. I had a lot of boy cousins right below my age that were, I don't know the best word to say, ornery. That might be a good one. And having these boy cousins made me pray for just girls. Thankfully, the Lord gave me just two girls, my sister 2 girls. We continued that girl tradition. But anyway, lots of funny memories too. I can remember when Cindy and the boy cousin that was her age, Cindy and Larry, while we were down in my Aunt Dot's basement, the boys were playing darts, and there was a dartboard on the wall. But Larry missed one year, and the dart went in Cindy's arm, and so then there was a trip to the hospital. But you know, you have funny memories and memorable memories like darts that miss. Thanksgiving often involves travel. I was fortunate that many years it was in my home area, But then as we all grew up and out, it moved to different places, and Harrisburg and New Jersey and Percy, Pennsylvania, so often travel was involved. When I asked my girls what were some of their favorite memories of Thanksgiving, they said Aunt Barbie's basement in New Jersey. I asked, well, what other memories do you have? And they said, we love the appetizers. They don't remember the Thanksgiving meal, but they remembered veggie pizza, spinach dip, and deviled egg appetizers were their favorite things. I think when we all traveled a little bit to get somewhere, as soon as everybody walked in, they couldn't wait for an hour or two for the main meals. Like, what can we eat right now? And so maybe that's why appetizers were such a major part of our Thanksgiving. There was always a massive amount of food. I'm sure that happens at your house, or maybe you're at the point where you just have a quiet day, just you, maybe someone close to you, maybe just a small gathering, put your feet up, you might watch football. Sports are always an important part. Usually the guys outside playing, but also they might find a TV somewhere and catch a football game. But anyway, lots of special memories of that day. And then, of course, being totally exhausted at the end of Thanksgiving Day. But then, the big tradition in my family was Black Friday. Different generations of us shopped together, and it was a wonderful. I love Black Friday, except I don't like it when I have to shop alone at different times. But anyway, shopping, Cindy and I, my sister and I can name different states where we would meet up and shop after a big Thanksgiving meal. We'd be up at maybe some store opened at 4 o'clock, but we love that Black Friday. I know not everybody does. Another tradition, my girls' generation, is to go out the day after Thanksgiving and cut down your Christmas tree. In my mom's house, my mom was a young widow, my sister and I, it was the day after Thanksgiving, the day to begin decorating the house. And that was a tradition we as kids loved looking forward to. We would also on that day go out shopping with our Aunt Anna, my dad's sister. My dad passed away when my sister and I were very young, and she would take us out shopping for finding my mom's Christmas gift and out to a fancy restaurant. So that was always a fun thing that day too. So we would usually do the going out with Aunt Anna on Friday, doing some shopping, definitely doing shopping that day. And then Saturday, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Saturday was the day we did the decorating at home to put up our, not the tree, that didn't come up to get put up till Christmas Eve, but to start decorating the house, playing the Perry Como 33 RPM records and that kind of thing. So very happy memories and traditions for me for Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining me today at Marlene at Home, and I hope you've had a great Thanksgiving season as you have gathered with whoever, and I just thank you for joining me, and I ask that you would come back again to Marlene at Home. Here's Thanksgiving 1957 at my grandparents' house. This was the last Thanksgiving there, as you can only see half of the table, and we quickly outgrew my grandparents' house. My pop-up is holding my sister Cindy on the left, and I'm in the back left corner. You might notice the Fostoria, my grandmother's on the table, and us kids are here for the picture, but we ate in the living room. It was a gathering for every meal with Paul's family, Paul standing to the left of his dad. Paul's number 4 of 8 children. Here's my family at Thanksgiving 1959 at my Aunt Dot's house. My sister Cindy is sitting on my pop-up's lap, and I'm on my mum-mum's lap on the right-hand end, very excited about Thanksgiving. You might see my Uncle Jimmy below me. He's holding 2 of my cousins, not his children, but 2 of my cousins firmly in his hand to keep them in one spot. My Uncle Pete, all the way in the back, is holding my cousin Larry. You might notice the 4 little girls, all safely on adult laps. At this house, children ate in the laundry room and played in the basement. And some years later, we also ate in the basement. Cindy and Larry are the 2 children on the left end, and they were involved in the dart incident. Here's about half of my cousins at a family funeral a number of years later, but now we just love any time we can get together. It very rarely happens, but we love it when it does. And those ornery boys, we just love dearly, and we have many laughs to share together. In 1969, it was Thanksgiving at my mother's house. This is my mom on the left with her 4 siblings and my mama and papa. It was my senior year of high school, and it was a fun time. This time, children were in the basement. Yes, I was a senior in high school, but I was still at the basement table. Yes, here's a Thanksgiving of change. For the first time, we're enjoying Thanksgiving with our little granddaughter, our first grandchild, and we were at my daughter and son-in-law's house in Middletown, Pennsylvania, and it was a wonderful, different, quiet, but a lot of fun with Avery. And yes, it's sparkling grape juice. At the end of this Thanksgiving weekend, I pray that you had time to think about all the blessings God has given to you, even in what may have been a difficult year.